Hey guys, welcome back to 1776 Robust. So on the table, you see in front of you an awesome collection of CZ handguns. From left to right, you have my P07, the P01, and of course the P10. Now, I know that there's a lot of, big, I guess push for CZ right now. I've always enjoyed having a CZ. The P01 was the first CZ I ever bought, and I bought that probably like 5 years ago. And, stupidly actually sold it and was able to actually get one again this past summer. So I'm very excited to have it. I love the gun. It's fantastic. It shoots well, carries well. The fit and finish of the handgun is just, phenomenal. Everything about the gun is just, in my opinion, what makes people really like guns. It's ergonomically friendly, shoots relatively, nice. It's a controllable handgun. It's got a lot of good features. Your decocker, you can get pretty good night sights for them if you choose to. Also, you can get decent grips if you choose to do that as well. So, overall, I've always enjoyed having a CZ. With that being said, ultimately, when I had my P01, I actually went out and had gotten a P07 duty, which was basically the first generation of the now P07. So they dropped the duty, added some serrations on the front, definitely upgraded the finish, and of course used that reinforced polymer that you also find on the P09. Changed the hammer a little bit, but other than that, the gun is pretty much the same. This gun, again, ergonomically, it's an excellent handgun. It doesn't feel necessarily as good as, let's say, a 75B type style does. However, this one is just as good. I know there's a lot of people out there that have P07s and swear by them. I love them. I have no complaints with it. This gun shoots everything and anything, fairly accurate, and very controllable. Again, fantastic gun. Recently, within the past year, CZ came out with their now famous, I guess you could say, P10C. Again, I absolutely love this gun. I did have some issues with it after around 1,200 rounds, and those seem to have been addressed and fixed. The gun works flawlessly now, even the mag release, which is actually really nice. Gun is clear, by the way, guys. I put the trigger on here. Fantastic upgrade, in my opinion. The trigger is now even smoother and just a lot nicer. If you can believe that. Ultimately, I do have to get some upgraded sights on here, but at some point I'll do that. I just haven't decided what or when. With that being said, this video is not about any of these three. While they're fantastic choices, there's a group of people that also have been looking at, some larger CZs. Now, for me personally, at one time, I did own a very large CZ, and that was the P09, which was kind of the larger or bigger brother to the P07. Pretty much the same exact pistol, just a lot bigger. Obviously, high capacity magazines. You have basically the same control setup, same slide, same texture, same finish, you name it. So it was basically the big brother of the P07. While everybody, loves that gun, I liked it, but I just never felt comfortable with it. For whatever reason, I just didn't like it enough to hold on to it. So years ago, CZ had come out with this gun called the Phantom. And I had looked at those guns originally, but never really wanted anything that big. So I never really got one. But over time, as I owned the P09, I began to say to myself, man, I wish they would have just come out again with that Phantom, because to me, that would have been the perfect, I guess you could say the perfect large carry gun for myself if I wanted a hammer, double single action type gun. So as a result, I never really, bought it. And at that point, it was discontinued until recently. Now, of course, when CZ came out with the Phantom, I think there's still a lot of people out there who probably, or maybe don't even really realize how good of a handgun this is. So I'm going to kind of go over this gun right here, and I'm going to focus a little bit on it. So I'm going to zoom in, I'm going to move my P01 out of the way, and we're going to take a look at this handgun right here. Now, for me, the Phantom is a fantastic handgun, and there's a bunch of different things about this gun, in my opinion, that make it so darn good. Now, first off, you're getting a very large grip. So if you want a full-size grip, again, this gun is going to definitely help you out, especially if you're looking for maybe a duty gun or just maybe a range gun where you just want extra, grip to control the handgun. In that aspect, the grip is very large. However, I will tell you, it's not so overwhelmingly large that this makes it impossible to carry. Now, I'm still in the process of getting a holster for it, so I haven't carried it yet. I believe Mid-Atlantic Holsters is going to hook me up with that. I am going to hopefully get that soon, and I can't wait to get it because I really want to carry this gun very badly. With that being said, this gun weighs around 28 ounces. It's about 28 to 29 ounces unloaded. Now, some might say that's a little bit too heavy to carry, but I would differ because we're talking about 3 ounces from some of the more popular handguns out there. I believe a Glock 17 weighs around 25-ish, 26 ounces. And I know a SIG weighs about 26 ounces as well. So for 3 more ounces, maybe 2.5 ounces more, you're getting a very, very good quality, full-size handgun, longer sight radius, excellent grip. And just, again, the legendary CZ quality. And I say that, and I don't mean to kind of, diss any other manufacturer, but in my opinion, I've never had any issues with my CZs, with the exception of this one. But with that being said, the hammers have always dropped, have always worked, and I've been very pleased with that. Now, some of the features of the gun, just so you know, you do have your hammer forged barrel. You have your decocker, your takedown lever, and of course this also acts as a slide release or slide lock, depending on what you want to say. Again, it comes with 18+1. You'll notice that these are actually 10 rounds, which kind of sucks, but that's what happens when you don't live in a free state. So I had to actually buy these online, and these are Mekgar mags, which are, everybody knows they're fantastic magazines. And any CZ75 full-size handgun, those mags will fit in this gun. And that to me is another big plus because unlike the P09, which again, fantastic firearm, but the problem is the P09 only takes P09 magazines. And those can be quite expensive sometimes. So in regards to just that, these mags, I bought 2 of them, cost me $30. And that's a pretty good deal. I bought them on eBay. But, for a P09 mag, if you're looking for a P09 mag in particular from CZ, it's going to cost a lot more. But then again, so will these if they come from CZ. With that being said, you can use this for basically any 75 that you have, including a CZ75 P01. So, just keep that in mind. If you do live in a free state where you have high cap mags and you have a P01 or a PCR, you can use this magazine here in all of its glory in one of these. So that's kind of cool as well. Now, obviously, you do have a replaceable back strap. It only comes with 2. Comes with, I would probably say this is probably like a medium, and then with a large. Whatever came with the factory is what it's on there right now. So it's extremely comfortable. I really definitely like it. You also have your Picatinny rail in the front. So if you want to add anything to that, you can. You have your, again, classic, whether you like it or not, CZ hook trigger. And, it's not the best. It's not the worst, guys. Okay. And by the way, the gun is clear. Let me just safety check that for all the Nancys out there. So the gun is clear. It doesn't weigh that much in the hand. Obviously with a loaded mag, it's going to weigh a little bit more, but just in my hand right now, this does not feel any heavier or lighter than a Glock 17. With that being said, size-wise, it is a little bit larger, but it is absolutely something that you can manage, something that you can control, and in my opinion, something that you can carry. If I was going to pick one downside of this handgun, which I have said before with this handgun, is the simple fact that these sights are absolutely crap. I mean, they're just terrible. I can't see anything when I'm shooting this gun with these sights. I mean, the dot is barely visible. The notch in the posts, you can't really, in my opinion, they just suck, period. I could be wrong, but that's just my opinion, whether you like it or not, I'm sorry. Other than that, you've got your, basically your rounded hammer, or a commander hammer, I believe is what they call it. You've got your decock, which is a little bit more stubborn to decock than, let's say, the P01. So you really do got to hit that quite hard to get that to drop. Again, you go into half cock. Now, in regards to trigger pull, if you're familiar with CZs, usually their double single actions run anywhere from 9 pounds double to about, 5 poundish area for your single action. So let's see what we get on our double action pull. So 9 pounds, 7.9 ounces, which is about, I would say about average for what you're going to get. And then, of course, your single action, 5 pounds, 3.9 ounces. So again, very, very standard for the double single. So the double isn't exactly the best. However, it's not the worst. That double action it's pretty responsive, and it breaks pretty nicely. Your reset, if you care about the reset, there's your reset. So it's fairly short. And of course, that single action trigger is very nice, very smooth. 5 pounds is decent. Do you need less? Well, it's up to you. If you want heavier too, that's up to you as well. Overall, you can't go wrong with this gun. Even the surface of the grip is actually pretty good. I don't think I'm going to be adding any grip tape or any Talon grips or anything like that, because it actually gives you a bit of abrasion here, but it's not too harsh, but not too light. I would say that this is much better than the P07. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about is whether or not this is a brand new Phantom or it's still the old Phantom. So a lot of people have said, well, this is a Gen 2 Phantom. And I guess in a way you're right, just as this is a Gen 2 P07. However, you know, what is the real difference? Honestly, guys, the only difference between this and the old Phantom is the polymer. That's it. The same exact reinforced polymer they use in the P07 and the P09 is exactly what they're using in this now. So the older polymer was probably more related to, you know, the old P07 duty, which I have to say was pretty crappy. With that being said, the gun is fantastic. I have had no issues with this gun whatsoever. I put about 200 rounds through it already. I have to say it handled really well. I did not shoot it particularly well, and it's at no fault of the gun at all. It's actually my fault just because I haven't been using double single actions in a while. However, with this purchase, you can bet I'm going to be at the range again shooting several hundred more rounds through it because it is very controllable, very flat shooting, and it's just a fantastic gun. So I'm going to leave you with some really horrible footage of me shooting this gun. It was not necessarily the most constructive day as I went through around the first 30, 40 rounds. I would say the first 30 rounds were all over the place. And then towards the end of those first 40 rounds, it actually got a little bit tighter, a little bit better. I would tell you that I was really just hooking the trigger a little bit too much probably. So I was hitting a little bit low and to the left, and then, you know, adjusting the trigger finger, hitting a little bit more high to the right, and then eventually able to kind of center it more to the right. So I do have to work on that. Again, definitely have to upgrade the sights on this bad boy. But guys, you know what? If you're looking for a full-size CZ and you're not necessarily sold on, you know, let's say the P09, highly recommend the Phantom. It is a fantastic gun. If you like the curve in the back, especially from the classic CZ75 line, then this would definitely be a great choice for you. It's a lot lighter than the tactical model, but it still is damn good. So I hope you guys have a great night. Hopefully you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Stay safe out there. And as always, freedom is never free.